The Government Accountability Office, the famous GAO, for the last 10 years, February '04 to December 14, there were 2,233 cases in which a known or suspected terrorist, individuals who are on the federal terrorist watch list.
Stop right there. Who are these people? Where do they come from? Before we even get to the issue of guns, there's she said 2,200 people, right, Rich? 2,200 people on the terrorist watch list, known in this country, terrorist watch list, who got guns. Who are these people? Are they immigrants? Are they illegal aliens? Where did they come from? Why is nobody interested in that? Isn't that the issue? Isn't that the first issue? Who are they? Are many of them here recently? Are they children of people who are here recently? I think we have a right to know. Diane Frankenfinstein. Go ahead.
Attempted to buy a firearm or obtain an explosives permit. In 91%...
Whoa. They're on the terror watch list and they sought to get an explosives permit? Why would you seek to get an explosives permit if you're going to blow up a building? Or yourself? Why would you need a permit for that? The insanity that passes as rational, thoughtful, common sense reform is beyond belief. So people on the terrorist watch list, some of them, were seeking a permit for explosives. That is absolutely incredible. Now, if they're that stupid, I assume they didn't get the permit. Nothing stops the FBI from slowing the process down, from putting a red flag on there. So what happened? Did they? Diane Feinstein and Director Comey today of the FBI. Go.
The Government Accountability Office, the famous GAO, for the last 10 years, February '04 to December 14, there were 2,233 cases in which a known or suspected terrorist, individuals who were on the federal terrorist watch list at the time, attempted to buy a firearm or obtain an explosives permit. In 91% of the cases, this is not me, this is the GAO, 2,043 separate occasions, those known or suspected terrorists were successful in passing a background check. What can be done about this?
Well, Senator, what we do now is if someone on the watch list purchases or attempts to purchase a firearm, an immediate alert is sent to the agents who are the source of the suspicion about that individual so they can incorporate that information into their investigation. It's a little bit challenging for us because known or suspected means it hasn't been adjudicated in every case that somebody is a terrorist. It's somebody we're investigating. So we don't want to obviously blow our investigation. Sorry.
Well, that will be totally ignored because it doesn't fit into the paradigm that's being pushed and soon to be imposed on us. Soon to be imposed on us. It's a very interesting question, though, really, if you break it down, isn't it? 2,230 people on the terrorist watch list, either terrorists or potential terrorists. Well, first of all, if they're terrorists, they don't need to be on a watch list. They need to be prosecuted. And if they're potential terrorists, well then, are we watching them? I can tell you who wasn't on the list, the Islamo-Nazi who murdered 49 people on Sunday morning. I can tell you who wasn't on the list, the Fort Hood mass murder. I can tell you who wasn't on the list, as far as we know. The lovely couple who slaughtered 13 people. Or was it 14 in San Bernardino County? I don't believe they were on the list. She doesn't even ask about the list itself, does she? And once again, I will ask the question, because nobody else will. Who are these 2,230 people? No, we don't need to know their names. They're innocent until proven guilty. But where do they come from? No, we can't tell you that. Why not? Well, we can't use those words. Can't use what words? Where do they come from? Mr. Comey knows. Dianne Feinstein knows. Why won't they discuss it? We have a visa program that doesn't work. People are coming into this country, and they're staying in violation of their own commitment to leave. We have refugees coming into this country from Syria, among other places, and our bureaucracy, under Barack Obama, is incapable of knowing really who is whom. In 2011, as I pointed out here yesterday, the administration was forced to prevent all immigration from Iraq for a 6-month period because some terrorists slipped through. And then when it's proposed by Ted Cruz or Rand Paul or even Donald Trump, it's said to be racist, even by Republicans. The insanity is just beyond belief. So let's turn to something safe, you see. We need common sense gun reform. Like common sense healthcare reform. Like common sense immigration reform. None of it's reform and none of it's common sense. They're excuses. So we have learned if the AR-15 long barrel rifle, a rifle, it's not an automatic weapon. If it had been banned, it would have made no difference in Orlando because an AR-15 wasn't used. I keep hearing people say, well, we ought to ban the use of bazookas. What do you mean ban the use of bazookas? Do people use bazookas? Has there been an attack in some home, some school, with a bazooka? And if there was, do you actually think banning bazookas will stop a terrorist from using a bazooka? It's already illegal to use a bazooka to kill people. These are all excuses. Let me explain something. The same political ruling class in Washington, D.C. that has helped cause these circumstances now pretends to come to our defense, now pretends to have the answers. The same political ruling class in Washington, D.C. that's created soft targets in this country, that's turned our border into Swiss cheese, that tells us we must adhere to their PC agenda, we must self-censor. The same ruling political class in Washington, D.C. that has sought to trash and nationalize local law enforcement, to quote-unquote demilitarize the cops, that has tied the hands of federal law enforcement on what phrases they can use or can't use when they're conducting their investigations, that has infused the entire system with political correctness. Now they're going to have the answers, you see? Now they have the answers. So the Second Amendment is under attack. Let's listen to one of the biggest idiots in the United States Senate. So, of course, they promote her, the Democrats do. Elizabeth Warren, a complete freak. Let's go to cut 4. Go.
We must take the threat from guns seriously.
Stop. Does anybody take threats from guns seriously? The NRA, Gun Owners of America, various gun groups, gun owners take the threat of guns very seriously. That's why we know how to handle them. That's why we take training with them. You dim-witted buffoon. Go ahead.
Our nation is awash in the weapons of murder.
Our nation is awash in the weapons of murder. And yet, the vast majority, the overwhelming majority, the incredibly largest majority of American people who own these weapons wouldn't harm a fly. Didn't Elizabeth Warren vote to arm the Islamo-Nazi regime in Tehran with ICBMs and nuclear warheads? Is there a liberal in the United States Congress who has any moral authority whatsoever to lecture you and me about our handguns and our rifles and so forth when they just voted to arm the enemy? Go ahead.
There are many things we can do to address that. We can ban Rambo-style assault weapons.
Rambo-style assault weapons, you idiot. Assault weapons. What's an assault weapon? It looks like a military weapon? It looks funny? What's an assault weapon, you buffoon? You don't even know. You don't even know. And what do you mean we can ban? Like the Constitution doesn't even exist. I told you, these people have a totalitarian mindset. They won't secure the border. They won't improve the vetting of people coming into this country. They won't even use the words to describe the people who are committing acts of terrorism. But you're not worth it. You're a citizen. Therefore, we'll push you around, we'll tell you what to do, just pay your taxes, and move along. Go ahead.
We can take these weapons of war off our streets.
What weapons of war, you idiot? We need to take people who make war off our streets. Go ahead.
Close the terror gap. The FBI should have the authority to block gun sales to anyone they believe is a terrorist. If someone...
Whoa. If the FBI actually believes somebody's a terrorist, they can block gun sales. If they have evidence believing somebody's a terrorist, the FBI background check process is supposed to ding, 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 red flag, and they could stop that sale and conduct a further investigation. This idiot doesn't even know what the current law is. Elizabeth Warren, she's so smart. So smart. Can you imagine a ticket led by Joe Biden and the running mate Elizabeth Warren? Remember the libs in the media were talking about two of the dumbest people in the... Oh, Mark, she was a professor. So what? Why do you think they need tenure? Because they can't stand on their own 2 legs after 2 years. No offense. Yes, offense. Go ahead.
Get on an airplane because the FBI is concerned they might be plotting to do harm against Americans, then they shouldn't be able to walk into a store and buy a Rambo-style assault weapon.
Okay then. Ted Kennedy, the lion of the Senate, the liar of Chappaquiddick. Should Ted Kennedy have been approved for a weapon given what took place at Chappaquiddick, ladies and gentlemen? I'm just asking. Now, Ted Kennedy, the liar of the Senate, was on this watch list 5 times, as John Locke reported to us yesterday, and has been in the news in the past. Was he a terrorist? Don't answer that. Was he a terrorist? It's a rhetorical question. And yet, according to Dimwit, he should never be able to purchase a weapon because he's on the list. Elizabeth Warren. Sort of a Bernie Sanders in a dress. That is a dress, isn't it? I think it's a dress. Well, Bernie Sanders doesn't wear a dress, does he, Mr. Producer? He could wear a dress. There'd be nothing wrong with that in today's America, would there, ladies and gentlemen? Shh, don't say anything. No, shh. That's trans something or other. It's a trans something or other. Perfectly fine. Remember, it's what's between your ears, not what's between your legs. It's between your ears, not what's between your legs. You self-identify.